Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of The Explainer. Today, we're taking a deeply mindful look at some truly profound philosophy from Ralph Marston, the author of The Daily Motivator. We spend so much of our time trying to arrange all the external pieces of our lives, right? Our schedules, our careers, our physical spaces. Well, today's Explainer completely flips that on its head. We're going to explore a really fascinating framework that shows how the specific internal emotional traits you carry are actually the very architects of your external reality.
Okay, let's dive into this because starting a deep dive on mindfulness with a quote from legendary basketball coach Bobby Knight might seem a little unexpected. Usually when Knight talks about preparing to win, he's talking about the grind, those unseen, grueling hours in the gym. But when you look at it through the lens of Ralph Marston's philosophy, this quote takes on a totally new dimension. Our emotional state, what we actively choose to carry inside us before we even walk out the front door, is absolutely the ultimate fundamental preparation for everyday life.
So, think about this for a second. What does it actually mean to prepare to win daily? If you're like most people, you probably picture a packed to-do list, a massive cup of coffee, or a really solid plan of action. We almost always frame winning as this purely external achievement. But if our internal state is the foundation of everything, then true preparation means intentionally selecting the emotional tools we bring to the table long before a single external event has even happened.
And that brings us directly to Marston's core thesis. Your demeanor at any given moment doesn't just dictate how you're quietly feeling inside your own head. It is literally the active, functioning mechanism that controls how you interact with everything and everyone else. Think of it like a lens or a filter. If you change the internal filter, you fundamentally change the reality of the external interaction. It's a real game changer.
Starting off with our first major theme, let's look at the roots of connection, specifically love and enjoyment, and how these inner feelings actually ground us. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the direct cause and effect. To map this out, try to picture a massive oak tree. Love and enjoyment are like the unseen roots holding it firm beneath the soil. Carrying inner love isn't just some passive, warm and fuzzy feeling. It actively triggers greater access to the things you love out there in the world. By holding love internally, your brain and your behaviors are completely primed to recognize, invite, and unlock the doors to those exact same positive elements in your environment.
And we actually see a very similar dynamic play out with genuine enjoyment. Think about walking into, say, a dreaded networking event. If you just force a fake smile, well, that's fleeting. It doesn't last. But if you actively cultivate a sense of genuine enjoyment within yourself, before you even step foot in the room, you forge deep, lasting connections to the things you appreciate. It essentially transforms you from a passive consumer of happy moments into an active builder of joyful relationships.
Moving right along to our next section, let's shift our focus to enthusiasm and curiosity, and see how they act like sunlight breaking through the canopy to illuminate our daily path. So if love and enjoyment are our grounding roots, enthusiasm and curiosity are the sunlight breaking through the leaves. Marston's phrasing here is so highly visual, and it's absolutely crucial to get this. When you are brimming with enthusiasm, it literally illuminates possibilities. Think about a problem you faced recently when you were just exhausted and cynical. It probably felt like a total dead end, right? Now imagine facing that exact same problem but with genuine enthusiasm. Suddenly, alternative routes and creative solutions just light up. The external facts didn't change one bit, but your internal lighting did.
And this brilliantly illustrates how curiosity operates on a very similar wavelength. Notice how curiosity is framed as a force that pushes us forward. It's an active engine, not just a passing thought. When you cultivate curiosity on the inside, you don't just sit back and watch the world go by. You are compelled to investigate, to ask questions. And as a direct result, you discover incredibly valuable connections between people, between ideas, between random opportunities that a closed mind would honestly just walk right past.
Let's head into our third area, exploring the soil of abundance and how gratitude and compassion foster incredible growth around us.
These next two traits create a deeply fertile soil of abundance all around us. Now, gratitude is often taught as simply remembering to say thank you for what you have, but Marston really elevates the concept here. Feeling and expressing gratitude is the exact internal key that unlocks the door to an ever-expanding supply of external abundance. Why? Well, because when you are acutely aware of the value of what you already have, you naturally attract and generate even more value. You start operating from a mindset of absolute plenty rather than a mindset of scarcity.
In that same vein, kindness and compassion are pretty much the ultimate social adhesives. Carrying compassion inside directly results in a massively strengthened ability to understand and bond with other people. It's like when people sense that your internal default setting is compassionate, they instantly lower their defenses. True, authentic human connection becomes nearly effortless, all because the internal environment you're projecting is undeniably safe and welcoming.
Okay, let's just pause for a second and take a look at the complete inner toolkit we've built up so far. Look at how each specific internal seed creates a highly specific external harvest. It's fascinating. Love grants access, enjoyment builds connection, enthusiasm illuminates, curiosity discovers, gratitude expands, and kindness bonds. If you're ever looking around and feeling like you're lacking one of these external results in your life, well, this toolkit tells you exactly which internal tool you need to pick up and practice carrying.
Of course, life isn't always sunshine. So our fourth section covers weathering the storm, focusing on how patience and resilience help us stand strong.
So the crucial point is that storms inevitably roll in, right? But Marston completely redefines how we weather them. He views patience not just as helplessly waiting around, but as an active superpower. He defines it as the ability to transform fleeting time into enduring treasure. When you carry patience, a delayed flight isn't a reason to have a total meltdown at the terminal. It's an active investment in your own peace of mind. You're taking that time and actively investing it in a better, more seasoned, and much more valuable outcome. And perfectly paired with patience is the protective shield of optimism and resilience. Now, just to be super clear here, carrying optimism on the inside doesn't magically prevent external setbacks from happening to you. What it does do is prompt you to move past those setbacks incredibly quickly. It literally cuts your recovery time in half. So instead of spiraling into defeat, your internal resilience immediately kicks in and begins looking for the lesson and the very next step forward.
Bringing it all together now, let's look at the harvest and how we actually go about choosing what we carry from the inside out.
Let's move to and see how this builds into real action. This is where we transition from simply understanding these abstract concepts into building the simplest, most effective daily practice you could ask for. It really all boils down to just these two steps. Step 1. Choose wisely what you carry inside. Make it a deliberate, intentional act before you even look at your phone in the morning, before you check a single email. And step 2. Watch how your life unfolds on the outside. Treat the whole thing like a giant experiment. Change the internal input and just sit back and observe how dramatically the external output shifts in response. I really want you to let the cause and effect reality of Marston's words sink in for a moment. Choose wisely what you carry through each day on the inside. It makes a big difference in the way your life unfolds on the outside. It is entirely in your control. The external world might be completely chaotic, but your internal cargo, that is your choice and your choice alone. And so, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this single, clarifying question to carry with you into the rest of your day. What are you carrying inside today? Are you carrying frustration and a sense of scarcity, or are you packing enthusiasm, gratitude, and patience? Take just a moment to check your internal inventory, make a deliberate choice, and go see what you can illuminate out there. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and I'll see you next time.